What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one, we have 101 facts about Poland. We're about to go through a long video with a lot of facts. So buckle up, get your snacks, get a drink, whatever. We about to hang out for a little bit. Before we dive in, though, y'all, we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. We're so freaking close because you guys are so amazing. If you enjoy, don't forget to smash subscribe. Please, please, please. Let's do this, Poland.
This video is brought to you by 101 Facts About Bees. Sam, please let Chris do the video.
Oh, gee willikers, here we go. Greetings, motherfactors! Nazivem Shu Sam, and I'm here today to talk to you all about the Slavic nation that just won't quit, Poland.
Let's do it.
It's lean, it's mean, it's a pierogi eating machine, and it's got a very rich and interesting history that was not easy to research. But Jacob did a good job, thanks Jacob. Here's the thing though, what will you find in the Crooked Forest?
Berries?
How many Polish people have gone to space? And what level of national offence will I generate with the verbal disasters I'm about to inflict upon the Polish language? Seriously, guys, it's gonna be bad.
I can't
2 out
wait.
of 3 of these questions are gonna be answered, so grab your friends, grab some vodka, and grab some thinking caps as we go through
Grab some
101
vodka.
facts about Poland.
Let's do it.
Number 1.
Let's do it.
Poland, officially the Republic of Poland, is a country located in Central Europe, or Eastern Europe, it depends who you ask. Wow, this isn't a great start. It's next to Germany, basically. Number 2.
Central Europe,
Geographically,
God dang
Poland
it.
is bordered by Russia's Kaliningrad Oblast and Lithuania to the northeast, Belarus and Ukraine to the east, Slovakia and the Czech Republic to the south, Germany to the west, and the good old Baltic Sea to the north. Number
There you
3.
go.
The early Bronze Age in what is now Poland began somewhere between 2400 BC, while the Iron Age commenced in approximately 750 BC. During this time, the ancient Lusatian culture, which spanned both the Bronze and Iron Ages, rose to prominence. Number 4. The most famous archaeological find from the prehistory of Poland is
That's
probably
old.
Biskupin, which was a Lusatian fortified settlement believed to have been built over the winter between 738 and 737 BCE.
And it's still
This
standing?
extremely specific date was pinpointed through the wonders of dendrochronology, which is the fancy
my
science man
days.
word for counting tree rings. Since its discovery in 1933, Biskupin has been converted into an archaeological open-air museum and features a life-size reconstruction of the fort.
That's
Number
so
5.
cool.
Between 400 and 500 BCE, a number of distinct ancient ethnic groups populated the area that's now Poland, including Slavic, Celtic, Baltic, and Germanic tribes, all just doing their thing, singing songs
Got
and
to.
telling jokes about the Romans. Probably. It's kind of hard to tell, since the recorded history of Poland didn't begin until the 10th century. We're getting there.
I feel that. I
Number
feel that.
6. We're getting there right now, actually. The establishment of the nation of Poland can be traced back to the year 966, when a guy called Mieszko I, who ruled over an area that's largely coextensive with the territory of present-day Poland, converted to Christianity, as was the fashion to do at the time. It was like dabbing. Number
It
7.
was like
A few
that.
decades later, Mieszko's son, Bolesław the Brave, was officially crowned the first king of Poland in 1025, near the end of his life. This established the Kingdom of Poland, so now the country had a fancy new
God
crown
dang.
and whatnot. Number 8.
Whoa.
The royal line of Mieszko
See how
ruled
big it
Poland for a good
was?
few centuries until they all eventually died out towards the end of the 14th century,
Oh
forcing
my
Poland to
days.
look for a new monarch elsewhere. In 1384, the youngest daughter of Louis I of Hungary, a lady called Jadwiga, married the Grand Duke of Lithuania, establishing a dynastic union between the two nations.
Yes.
Number 9. In 1447, a guy called, Kazimierz Czwarty Jagiellonczyk became the king of Poland, and later became known as the father of Europe. Of his numerous children,
really?
1 became a cardinal, 4 became kings, 1 was canonized as a saint, and 3 of his daughters married into noble families to become the mothers of the heirs of several of the greatest dynasties in Western Europe. Number 10. In 1569, the alliance between Poland and Lithuania was upgraded to the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, a bi-confederation dual state which constituted one of the largest and most populous countries of the 16th and 17th century Europe, roughly
Huge.
390,000 square miles big. Number 11.
I rock with this because he about to take us. He about to take us 101 facts throughout the history of Poland. You feel me? Because these facts come one after another in order, and I absolutely rock with that. That fort, god dang, that's freaking old, but it's like a rebuilt museum now. I feel like that would be cool to see. If any of you guys have seen that, please drop that in the comment section. Very interesting things about Poland, but I know a decent amount about the history of Poland. All of these history things after the 10th century, I guess, when Poland started being recorded. I didn't know it started in 10th century. But after that, I know I've seen videos about these things.
The 150 years or so between the late 15th century and the mid-17th century are often referred to as the Polish Golden Age, marked by several decades of prosperity and stability. The country's political system also featured a number of attributes that later evolved into the modern concept of democracy, including checks on monarchical power, protected rights for minorities, relative religious tolerance, and multiculturalism. It was a happening place to be. Number 12. By the mid-17th century, however, the stability of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth had begun to weaken. Other states and groups, such as the Tsardom of Russia, the Kingdom of Prussia, Sweden, and the Ukrainian Cossacks, began to rise in prominence and exploited the Commonwealth's growing weakness, leading to territorial losses and dwindling political significance. This was further exacerbated by prolific conflicts and infighting between the nation's nobles. It was no longer a happening woke place to be. Number 13.
Feel that.
Between 1655 and 1660, the Commonwealth was devastated by the so-called deluge, during which the country was invaded by both Sweden and Russia. Oh dear, double team. Gravely diminishing the country's wealth, infrastructure, and culture. In total, 188 cities, 186 villages, 81 castles, 136 churches, and 89 palaces were destroyed by the invaders. God, that's rude.
Dang.
People were using those. Number 14. The
Is that why you
Commonwealth
don't
lost
like
roughly a
ABBA?
third of its population during this period.
Yeah.
And of the 20,000 people living in the nation's capital of Warsaw before the conflict, only 2,000 remained after it ended. And by the way, if you think this sounds bad, believe me, it gets so much worse. Number 15. In total, around 4 million of Poland's 11 million inhabitants died in famines and epidemics throughout the 17th century. See, I told you, didn't I tell you it got...
4 million people died during the famine. 4 million out of 11 million is absolutely mind-blowing. That number is bonkers and absolute ridiculous. My, 4 million.
Number 16. In 1764, a fella by the name of Stanisław August Poniatowski became the King of Poland, and he remains a
That's my name,
controversial
don't worry
figure in
about it.
Polish history. While he was
Oh.
praised as a reformer, modernizer, and an educated patron of the arts and sciences, he was also seen as a tool of Russia's Catherine the Great, with whom he was romantically involved. Stan and Catherine sitting in a tree, ruining Poland's destiny. Number 17. While Poniatowski's policies improved the country's economy and culture, as a weak leader he failed to prevent the first partition of Poland, when roughly a third of Poland's territory and around a third of its population was annexed by the Russian Empire, as well as the
She
Kingdom
was
of
playing
Prussia
them.
and the Habsburg Austrian Empire. Thanks, Obama. Number 18. In 1793, Poland ratified the 3rd of May Constitution, so named because, well, I'm sure you can figure it out. The Constitution was the first set of modern supreme national laws in Europe, second only in the world to the Constitution of the
really?
United States, which came into force in 1789. It's okay if you didn't know this, though. Americans don't really like to talk about their Constitution. They're very reserved and quiet about it. Number 19. The 3rd of May Constitution aimed to re-establish the relationship between the king and the nobles, to protect the rights of the poor and promote political equality and freedom. I mean, that sounds brilliant. Who could possibly have a problem with that? Number 20. Oh, okay, that's right. Rich people had a problem with that. I completely
Exactly.
forgot about rich people.
Yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah.
privileged elites weren't exactly fans of this equality and freedom malarkey, given that it was inequality and oppression that allowed them to be privileged elites in the first
Exactly.
place. To prevent the rebirth of a strong Commonwealth, Catherine the Great invaded Poland only 19 months after the
Surprise,
Constitution was
it's
enacted,
me.
carrying out the second partition of Poland in 1793. Number 21.
Just eating Poland up. Eating Poland, taking it off the map. But yeah, the rich people, of course, when you give equal rights and everything to the people at the bottom, then all the rich people, the nobles, the elites, are going to have an issue with that, because in order to give more to the bottom, it takes away from them. So it's crazy, I know, but that's how the world goes.
The second partition saw the annexation of so much Polish territory to the Russian Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia that Poland was effectively unable to exist as an independent state. Despite an attempt to liberate Poland from its invaders, in the form of the Kosciuszko Uprising, the Commonwealth's remaining territory was annexed to its entirety in 1795 during the third partition of Poland, at which point Poland sadly ceased to exist. Yikes, tough break.
Yeah,
I wonder if they'll
very
make it
tough.
back. Oh, they will, because otherwise we wouldn't be doing this video about them.
Feels so good.
Number 22, with Poland's independent existence quite literally removed from the map, each of its invaders began to denationalise Polish citizens, forcing many educated Poles to resign from public political activity or flee the
God
region
dang.
altogether. Eventually, only small areas of what was formerly Poland allowed Polish culture to flourish freely.
That's crazy.
Number 23. However, much like Asgard, I guess, in a way, the idea of Poland as an independent state was not lost on the minds of its people. And in the 19th century, there was two major uprisings against foreign rule. The first was the November Uprising of 1830, when young Polish soldiers, led by Lieutenant Piotr Wysocki, revolted. Though they were eventually joined by a large number of local Poles, as well as Lithuanians, Belarusians, and Ukrainians, within a year, the numerically superior forces of the Russian Empire crushed the uprising.
Of course.
Number 24. The second revolt, which would later become known as the January Uprising, began in 1863 as a protest by young Poles against conscription into the Imperial Russian Army, before developing into a larger insurrection. Despite being joined by high-ranking Polish-Lithuanian officers and a large number of politicians, the rebels were once again heavily outnumbered and won no major battles before the forces of the Russian Empire crushed the uprising in June of 1864.
Russia,
Number 25. More than a century after the partitions of Poland at the end of the 18th century, around 2 million Polish soldiers fought in the First World War, supporting Britain, France and Russia against Germany, Austria-Hungary and Italy. Almost a quarter of Polish soldiers who fought in the First World War were killed, constituting the deaths of around 450,000 people. Number 26. After the war ended in 1918,
crazy.
Poland was finally reborn. It regained its independence with the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, which granted roughly 20,000 square miles of land to Poland at the expense of Germany. After 123 years, Poland was once again an independent nation.
Yeah, they were.
You got this, girl. Number
Just for a short amount of time. I know that's the next fact on the list. Just for a short amount of time, they were an independent nation because then Hitler came to power. And we know the story after that. Then the Soviets came and occupied it. And we know that story as well.
27. The interwar period was devoted almost entirely to rebuilding and reuniting, but there was significant political violence and upheavals, including the assassination of the first president in 1922 and a coup d'etat in 1926.
Assassination?
Sadly, Poland's troubles were once again far from over. Number 28. On the 1st of September 1939, the Second World War began with the invasion of Poland by Germany, backed by Stalin's army from the east. While Germany had been preparing for war for a number of years, Poland was relatively unprepared, and by the end of the month, Warsaw had fallen to the Nazis.
Jesus.
After which the Polish government fled to Great Britain but continued working as a government in exile. Number 29. Still, Polish armies and units continued to fight alongside Allied forces, and made considerable
did.
contributions to the fight against the Nazis.
Yeah, they
Polish
did.
pilots, for instance, were instrumental in achieving victory during the Battle of Britain, and provided crucial information that led to the breaking of the Enigma Code. Number 30.
Huge.
Polish fighters also organised one of the largest underground armies in Europe's history, known as the Home Army, which consisted of as many as 600,000 soldiers, saboteurs and intelligence operatives.
Oh my God.
Number 31. Happily, Polish forces were also accompanied by Wojtek, a literal bear who carried ammunition to the front lines and actually helped recapture Italy for the Allies.
What?
Wojtek, who stood at 6 feet tall and weighed 500 pounds, was a huge source of morale for Polish soldiers and would apparently enjoy drinking beer out of a bottle just like the rest of his human comrades.
What?
Number 32.
Are you serious?
After the war, Wojtek lived out the rest of his life at Edinburgh Zoo in Scotland, where he was often visited by fans and former Polish soldiers. He even appeared on the British children's TV show Blue Peter on several occasions. And frankly, there's no greater honour in the UK. Here's to Wojtek, the most interesting bear in the
crazy.
world.
Definitely the most interesting bear in the world. This is a fact that I was not aware of. This is absolutely crazy to think about. Shout out to Wojtek. Like this bear was, I mean, instrumental. This bear was instrumental in World War II. And yeah, I didn't know that I had to thank a bear. But I got some gratitude, some respect, and some thanks to give this bear. Wow, days, that's crazy.
Number 33. Ultimately, however, the Second World War utterly devastated Poland.
Yes.
By the end of the conflict, more than 6 million Polish citizens had been killed. What's more, around 90% of Poland's Jewish population was systematically murdered.
That's insane.
Number 34. In
That's
fact, Poland was so
absolutely
horrifically
ridiculous.
damaged by the Second World War that the Polish population didn't return to its pre-war level of around 35 million people until 1977, roughly 38 years later. Number 35. After the negotiations that happened after the Second World War finally ended, Poland lost the majority of its eastern territories, but it did gain land to the west that had previously belonged to Germany. In a sense, the entire nation of Poland effectively moved around 150 kilometers westwards, necessitating the resettlement of around 2 million people. Number 36. Sadly, even after finishing the Second World War on the winning side, Poland continued its unfortunate habit of being royally screwed over. In 1952, the Polish People's Republic was officially established as a satellite state under the Soviet influence, and was forced to adopt communism as its political system, despite Stalin's previous assurances that he would respect Polish sovereignty and allow free and fair elections. Spoiler alert, he didn't.
Of course not.
Number 37.
Of course not.
Armed anti-communist forces continued to oppose Soviet influence in Poland throughout the years after the end of the Second World War. As the nation struggled with a repressive and often corrupt regime that left it short on basic goods, economic growth, and a free media. As a result, Poland's reconstruction progressed far more slowly than that of other Western European countries.
Of course.
Number 38. In the early 1980s, Poland's economic situation deteriorated to such an extent that its communist government was forced to raise consumer prices, which was immediately met with waves of strikes organised by a population already living in very difficult conditions. This ultimately led to the rise of Solidarity, an independent trade union which began to erode the dominance of the Polish United Workers' Party.
How can you raise prices on people who already can't afford anything? Now you're going to raise up. Doesn't make sense.
Number 39. In 1989, Solidarity won a resounding victory in Poland's first partially free and democratic parliamentary elections since the end of the Second World War, prompting the nation's transition away from communism and establishing the Third Polish Republic, which still exists today.
Yeah.
Number 40. Since then, Poland got itself a fancy new constitution in 1997, joined NATO in 1999, and the European Union in 2004. After a long and turbulent history, today Poland is a stable and modern democracy that has seen significant improvements in freedom of speech, human rights, and civil liberties. And we here at 101 Facts couldn't be prouder of you, Poland. Na zdrowia! Number 41. Today, Poland is known officially as Rzeczpospolita Polska, which translates to the Republic of Poland. Interestingly, the word Rzeczpospolita is reserved exclusively to refer to Poland, and the other republic is referred to in Polish as Republika. The meaning of life. The actual word Poland originates from the name of a West Slavic tribe known as the Polani, which ultimately derives from the word Pole, meaning field. As such, the word Poland essentially means land of the people living in fields, which is nice, I guess, and technically true. Number 43.
I guess.
Poland's current territory covers an area of roughly 120,562 square miles, making it slightly smaller than the US state of New Mexico and about 6.5 times smaller than Old Mexico, which is also known as Mexico. Number 44. Politically, Poland is divided into 16 administrative subdivisions known as Województwo, which are further divided into 380 powiaty and 2,478 gminy. Why are you doing this to me, Polish? What have I ever done to you? Number 45. With a population of approximately 38.5 million people, Poland is the 6th most populous country in the European Union. However, Poland is poised to become the 5th most populous member of the EU fairly soon, owing to a little thing called... well, I don't want to say it. It rhymes with schmeckshit. Let's move on. Number 46. Poland's capital and largest city is Warsaw, which in Polish is pronounced Warszawa. The city has a population of around 1.7 million residents, within a greater metropolitan area of 3.1 million residents. Number 47. Other major cities in Poland include, oh dear, okay, here we go, Krakow, Łódź, Wrocław, Poznania, Gdansk, and, Szczecin. Please feel free to leave a bunch of comments telling me how badly I pronounce those. I know you want to. Number 48. As you probably already know, because I've mentioned it several times already, Poland's official language is Polish. It's spoken by about 45 million people, most of whom obviously reside in Poland. It's often stated that Polish is one of the most difficult languages for non-native speakers to learn, but then everyone says that about their language. Polish is one of the most difficult languages for non-native speakers to learn, but then everyone says that about their language. No one wants to have an easy language. Languages are like mums, no one wants an easy one. Number 49. Interestingly, the Polish alphabet consists of 32 letters compared to the frankly pathetic 26 we have in English.
Oh, wow.
Show-offs.
32
Number
letters.
50. In the 16th century, a poet known as Mikołaj Ray became the first author to write exclusively in the Polish language, and as such is often referred to as the father of Polish literature. Good for him, I'm sure he's dead. Proud. Dead proud. He's dead, obviously. I think.
Good for him, I'm sure he's dead proud. Dead proud. He's probably dead.
Number 51. Poland also recognises an official regional language called Kashubian, which is spoken by around 108,000 people, mostly in the northwestern regions of the country. Kashubian is taught in a number of Polish schools, and can be found on many street signs in its native regions. Number 52. The currency used in Poland is the Polish zloty, which is subdivided into 100 grosze. These Polish words are killing me, my mouth can't make these sounds. Number 53.
I can
The Polish flag is pretty darn simple, unlike the flags in a number of other countries, looking at you, Nepal. Consisting of 2 equal horizontal stripes with white on the top and red at the bottom, the Polish flag is very similar to the flags of Monaco and Indonesia, the only difference being the reverse colour and the flag dimensions. Number 54. Written in 1797 by Józef Wybicki, Poland's national anthem is called Mazurek Dąbrowskiego, though it's also commonly known as Jeszcze Polska nie zginęła, which translates to Poland has not yet perished. God, that's pretty metal.
Love that.
Number 55.
I love that.
In Poland, the end of certain surnames can differ based on gender. But also, if you're a woman and your father's surname is Kowalski, your surname would be Kowalska. This trait has not survived in every part of the Polish diaspora, and people with Polish surnames in many places like the United States use only the male form, regardless of gender, because men are the best. Go men. That's obviously a joke.
Because men are the best. Go men.
Number 56. It should come as no surprise to anyone that Poland is a very religious country. Indeed,
Yes.
about 90% of the Polish population
Catholicism.
identify as Roman Catholic, though some estimates put the actual figure at almost 95%. That's almost as many Catholics as the Vatican, where they make Catholics. Number
Where they
57.
make Catholics.
Poland's highest point is Mount Resse, which is located on the country's southern border with Slovakia. Standing at 8,199 feet tall, the mountain's name is believed to mean scratches or crevices, referring to the rugged terrain on its western side. Sorry, I don't know why I went all sexy there for a mountain, but it's quite imposing. Number 58. While we're on the topic of mountains, it's worth mentioning that the highest mountain in Australia, Mount Kosciuszko,
Mount Kosciuszko,
was named after Tadeusz Kosciuszko, who led the aforementioned Kosciuszko uprising. The mountain was named by Polish explorer, good lord, Paweł Edmund Strzelecki, who felt it somewhat resembled Kosciuszko's tomb in Krakow. Number 59. Poland contains over 10,000 lakes, which I believe is quite a lot of lakes. The largest lake in Poland, called
a ton of
Schneerder,
lakes.
is located in the northeast of the country and has a surface area of 43.9 square miles. Number 60.
It's a big lake.
Poland is home to no less than 15 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 14
That's
of which are
pretty dope.
cultural, referring to the country's rich and complicated history. These include the historic centres of Warsaw and Krakow, the wooden churches of southern Małopolska, and, sadly, Auschwitz. Number 61. Another interesting entry on the list is Malbork Castle in North Poland, which is also known by its far more dramatic full name of
awesome.
the Castle of the Teutonic Order in Malbork. Built in the 13th century,
Teutonic
Malbork
Order.
Castle is the largest castle in the world by land area, covering a single area of 143,591
God
square
dang.
meters. That's a lot of castle.
That is a
Number
ton of
62.
castle, for
Poland's
sure.
only
Ton of
UNESCO
castle.
World Heritage Site in its natural category is the Białowieża Primeval
Is that the
Forest,
Crooked
which
Forest?
covers
Oh,
547 square miles of land along the border between Poland and Belarus. It's one of the last and largest remaining parts of an enormous ancient forest that once stretched across the entire European plain. Number 63. Białowieża is home to 800 European bison, Europe's heaviest land animal. Having been hunted to extinction in the wild in the early 20th century, the species was kept alive in captivity and has since been reintroduced into several countries in Europe. I bet when they went over there, they said, "Bye, son." Nintendo 64.
Oh, my days.
Over 30% of Poland's
my
land is covered in
days,
forests, making it the
my
fourth most
days.
forested country in Europe. Nice trees, Poland. Sorry, I just need to let everyone know here that in the script it says to make sexual noises, which I'm not gonna... Nice trees, Poland. Number 65. Close to the town of Gryfino, near Poland's northwestern border with Germany, there is a mysterious forest which contains several hundred pine trees that bend sharply at the base
The
of their
Crooked
trunks
Forest.
before gradually sloping back up to its vertical position.
pretty dope.
It's believed that the trees were planted at some point in the 1930s, and though the cause of their bizarre shape is presumed to be some sort of human intervention, the means and motive are unknown. The forest is today known by the not at all creepy nickname, the Crooked Forest.
That's not
Number
creepy to me.
66.
Describe
Poland is
it.
mainly comprised of lush countryside, but surprisingly, the country is actually home to the Błędów Desert, which is a legit desert. Yes,
Oh.
a desert in the middle of Europe. You learn something new every day, or 101 things. Welcome to 101 Facts. Anyway, the Błędów Desert was not created
Anyway.
naturally, but as a result of human activity which rendered the ground unable to support plant life, so go us, I guess. Number 67. Poland has a diverse culinary tradition, of which one of the most well-known
Pierogi.
items is Polish dumplings, or pierogi. These
Love
famous
them
little
pierogies.
morsels are made by wrapping unleavened dough around a savoury or sweet filling, and then cooking them in boiling water or by frying them in a pan. They're basically
There you
like
go.
Slavic gyoza, which is incidentally the name of my
Never
upcoming
had those.
thrash metal album. Don't bite it. Even I think it's...
Ooh, those are good. See, those got a little crisp to them. I don't know how I feel about mine out of the boiled water. because they wouldn't have that like crisp unless you took them out the water, put them in like a frying pan or whatever. I just wanted like a little bit of crisp. You know, I just want a little bit of crisp to it. I feel like that would just make it a tad bit better. Y'all, please correct me if I'm mistaken. If I'm wrong, I can take it, but just a little bit. Just a little bit.
It's really bad. Number 68. The pierogi is so beloved in Polish cuisine that every year on the 8th of October, Polish Americans in the US celebrate National Pierogi Day in honor of their delicious dumpling heritage. Do you like pierogis? More to the point, have you ever tried one? Let us know in our YouTube poll. Get it? Poll?
I would like to try
Poland,
one.
whatever, just click the thing. Number 69.
Oh my days.
Pierogi. Another traditional dish in Poland is bigos, commonly known as English as hunter's stew. Bigos is made with meat, sausage, sauerkraut, prunes, cabbage, mushrooms, and spices.
Nope.
Number 70.
Nope.
A scrummy Polish sweet treat of note is pączki, which are Poland's version of the humble donut. It's estimated that 100 million pączki are consumed in Poland every year on the Thursday before Ash Wednesday alone. Number 71. A popular street food in Poland is zapiekanka, an open-faced sandwich made of half of a baguette topped with sautéed white mushrooms, cheese, and various other additional toppings, which is then toasted until the cheese melts. An electrical combination that's earned it the nickname of Polish pizza. Number 72.
I would definitely try it.
Poland is also widely known for its production and consumption of vodka, the distilled alcoholic beverage known for its delightful propensity to get you absolutely raddled in no time at all. Scholars debate the origins of vodka, as both Poland and Russia claim to have invented it. But we do know that the word vodka was first used in Polish documents all the way back in 1405, so saying that, Russia. Number 73.
And it was Poland.
But Poles have varied taste in their choice of booze, and certainly enjoy beer a great deal too. On average, Polish people drink around 92 litres of beer a year, placing Poland third in Europe in consumption of beer, behind only Germany and the Czech Republic.
That's a lot of beer.
Number 74.
That's a lot of beer.
Poland has produced a number of humanity's greatest thinkers, who've helped our species along in its unquenchable hunger for sweet, sweet knowledge. One such smarty pants Pole was Nicolaus Copernicus, whose actual Polish name was Mikołaj Kopernik. Born in 1473, Copernicus worked as a doctor, lawyer, architect, and soldier before constructing an observatory and writing De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, which correctly stated that the sun was at the center of the planetary system rather than the Earth, prompting it to be quickly banned by the Catholic Church for being just too real, man. Number 75.
That man did everything. Literally, that man did everything.
Another Polish clever clogs was Marie Curie, who was widely remembered for her pioneering work in the field of radioactivity. Born Maria Skłodowska in Warsaw in 1867, Curie moved to Paris in early 1880 and married Frenchman Pierre Curie in 1895. Together, they discovered the elements polonium and radium in the late 19th century, and Curie herself is credited for coining the term radioactivity and for conducting the world's first studies into the treatment of tumours using radioactive isotopes. We owe her a great deal, basically. Number 76.
For sure.
In 1903, Curie won her first Nobel Prize in physics along with her husband and another colleague, Henri Becquerel. After the death of her husband in 1906, Marie was appointed to her husband's professorship, becoming the first woman to teach at Sorbonne University in Paris. Curie won a second Nobel Prize in chemistry in 1911 for her research in the isolation of pure radium. Not only is Curie the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, she's also the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes, the only woman to win in 2 fields, and the only person to win in multiple sciences. She's a science banff, basically.
I see you, Curie.
Number 77. Interestingly, Curie named polonium after her native Poland, which was at the time part of the Russian Empire. Curie conceived the name in order to bring greater attention to Poland's lack of independence as a sovereign state, which is thought to be the first example of a chemical element being named to highlight a political cause. Essentially, Curie was what scientists refer to as the absolute GOAT. Number 78. Frédéric Franciszek Chopin, often frankified to Frédéric François Chopin, is Poland's most famous composer. Chopin was born in Selazawa, Wola in central Poland in 1810, and left Poland in the summer of 1830, never to return. Number 79. The writer Joseph Conrad, well known for his novels Lord Jim and Heart of Darkness, was in fact also a Pole and was born... Oh, good heavens. Right, okay, here we go. Józef Theodor Konrad Nałęcz Kozieniowski. Hell of a name that I definitely did all in one take. Number 80. In the late 19th century, a Polish guy named Ludwik Leitzer Zamenhof, more commonly known as L.L. Zamenhof, created the artificial language of Esperanto, the most widely spoken constructed language in the world. Zamenhof created Esperanto to be as simple and intuitive as possible, with regular grammar and spelling that would allow it to become a shared international language used by people all over the world. Today, around 2 million people speak Esperanto, a small number of whom learned it from birth. Number 81. In 1912, a Polish-born American biker...
Not too many people I know speak Esperanto, but I do appreciate the ambition of trying to create a language used by the entire world. Yeah, if that did happen, then I guess people could just get rid of all their own languages, because here's a language that people speak worldwide, so why would that not be the language that everybody would then speak?
Chemist named Casimir Schfunk, commonly anglicised to Casimir Funk, first formulated the concept of vitamin, something my body desperately craves yet I desperately avoid. Number 82. The 17th century Polish astronomer Jan Hevelius, often referred to as Johannes Hevelius, published the earliest exact maps of the moon, which were useful for people who were super interested in space and stuff. Number 83.
That makes sense.
In 1978, Mirosław Hermaszewski became the first Polish national to go to space, flying aboard the Soyuz 30 spacecraft and spending almost 8 days on board the Salyut 6 space station. At the time of making this video, Hermaszewski remains the only Polish person to leave Earth.
What?
Number 84. In the 1880s,
Why?
a Polish-born Jewish man named Miko Marks arrived in Britain after fleeing anti-Semitic persecution in Russian-controlled Poland. Mark would later go on to become the co-founder, along with Tom Spencer, you can see where I'm going with this, British people, of Marks & Spencer department stores, which officially opened in 1894.
Really?
Number 85. You can also thank Poland for the world's first waterproof mascara, courtesy of Helena Rubinstein, who was born in Krakow on Christmas Day in 1872.
Okay.
Rubinstein also developed the precursor of the mascara wands used universally today, as well as some of the first professional suntan products. Number 86. Poland also produced Maksymilian Faktorowicz, who founded a little cosmetics company called Max Factor in California in 1909. Faktorowicz also invented modern eyelash extensions, provided his service as a beautician to early stars of Hollywood, and in 1920 coined the word makeup based on the verb phrase to make up one's face, a term that I'm told is still used today. Number 87.
Of course.
The Polish former strongman and current mixed martial artist Mariusz Pudzianowski won the title of World's Strongest Man no less than 5 times, more than any other athlete. Number 88. The Poland Rock Festival, see what they did there, is a free rock music festival which has been held in Poland every year since 1995. Formerly known as Woodstock Festival Poland after the original Woodstock Rock Festival held in the US state of New York in 1969, the Poland Rock Festival is apparently the largest open-air festival in Europe. Number 89. Apparently, Poland exports more amber than any other country in the world. That's it. That's the fact. I literally have no opinion whatsoever on amber.
That's it.
Full time.
That's the
okay,
fact.
so I still love Jennifer Lawrence. There you go. Number 90. Set between 2 buildings in Warsaw is Carrot House, which at just 152 centimeters at its widest point is the narrowest house in the world. The structure, which is actually classified as an art installation due to the fact it doesn't meet Polish building codes, contains 2 floors and has 1 bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom, and a living area. Number 91.
Okay.
Between 1974 and 1991, Poland was home to the Warsaw
high.
Radio Mast, which was at the time the tallest structure in the world. It stood at an incredible 2,121 feet high, until a catastrophic failure on the 8th of August 1991, causing it to bend and snap at roughly half its height, and yes, that was a Legally Blonde reference. Only one structure has ever surpassed the height of the Warsaw Radio Mast, and that honour belonged to the Burj Khalifa, the current tallest building in the world. Number 92. Poland is home to one of the world's oldest salt mines, the Wieliczka Salt Mine, located in the southern Polish town of, you guessed it, Wieliczka. Built in the 13th century, the mine reaches a depth of 1,073 feet and is over 178 miles long, producing table salt all the way up until 2007. Number 93. Wieliczka Salt Mine is now a popular tourist attraction, containing dozens of statues, 3 chapels, and an entire cathedral carved out of rock salt by the miners, often referred to as the Underground Salt Cathedral of Poland. Approximately 1.2 million visitors walk through the salt mine every year. Number 94. Poland is also the proud owner of the Christ the King Monument, an enormous statue of Jesus Christ, the central figure of Christianity, of whom Catholics are generally quite fond. At 33 metres in height, Christ the King is 3 metres taller than the much more well-known statue of Christ the Redeemer in the Brazilian city of Rio de Janeiro, making it the tallest statue of Jesus in the world.
That's so awesome.
Number 95. The Wawel dragon is a famous dragon in Polish folklore that once upon a time lived in a cave at the foot of Wawel Hill on the bank of the Vistula River in what is now Krakow. The marauding scaly boy terrorized the local population until a plucky cobbler named Scuba tricked it into eating sulfur, causing it to become so thirsty it drank from the Vistula River until it literally burst. The same thing happened actually to our old editor Clive, except instead of river water it was chicken nuggets. Nasty way to go, but quite a spectacle. Number 96. In honour of the legend of the Wawel Dragon, in 1972 a ferocious-looking statue of a dragon was placed at the foot of Wawel Hill, which stands at over 20 feet tall. Most importantly, the statue uses natural gas to actually breathe fire every few minutes, making it the coolest statue I've ever heard of.
That's
Sorry,
lit.
Jesus. Number 97.
Sorry, Jesus.
Not only that, the statue has since been modernised to allow onlookers to trigger the dragon's fiery breath by sending it a text message reading smok, the Polish word for dragon. This service has proved to be incredibly popular because obviously it has, and at one point
That's
prompted roughly
crazy.
2,500 messages a day. Number 98.
God dang.
The town of Swójbice in western Poland is home to a charming monument to Wikipedia, the popular free encyclopedia which we all collectively ignore when it asks for even the most reasonable donations. The statue, which stands at over 2 meters in height, consists of 4, for some reason, nude people carrying a globe-shaped puzzle, the symbol of Wikipedia. Number 99.
That's pretty cool.
Apparently, the most popular dog name in Poland is Burek, which translates to brown-grey colour. Wow, real dog lovers in Poland.
Right.
Number
Right.
100. In the Polish capital of Warsaw, people who have the good fortune to be born on public transport are entitled to free travel for the entirety of their lives. Man, I wish I'd been born in a bus in Poland. Life's so unfair. I was
That's
born in a
insane.
hospital.
I was born
Number
in a hospital.
101. Yeah. In 2004, a local council member initiated a motion to rename a street in the Polish town of Grabowiec to honour one of his greatest loves, Star Wars. After
Are
the
you
decision was
serious?
accepted in early 2005, the street was officially dubbed Ulica Obi-Wana Kenobigo,
Oh
which
my
means Obi-Wan
gosh.
Kenobi Street in Polish. The change generated significant media attention, attracted fans from
bet.
across Poland, and even prompted a congratulatory letter from representatives of Lucasfilm. Ah, it's nice to end on a happy note after such a
Obi-Wan
harrowing
Kenobi.
video. Anyway, that was 101 facts about Poland. Have you ever been to Poland? Would you?
That was a fun video to get the opportunity to react to. Which fact was your favorite? You got some facts that weren't included in this video. I want to know. That's all we got. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe. Get a video a thumbs up. Check out the next one. I'll see you guys next time.